Planning and Development is always looking for opportunities for economic development and for other initiatives in the town of Barnstable. Well, there is a new opportunity zone. With me today, Elizabeth Jenkins, Director of Planning and Development. This opportunity zone opportunity is something new, and you're going to Washington.
I am, very excitingly. So first, what is an opportunity zone? An opportunity zone came out of a program that was established by the federal government through the, I think, 2017 Job Tax Cut and Jobs Act. And it was basically a federal program to help encourage economic development in diverse census tracts across the country. So what the program does is it gives favorable tax treatment relative to capital gains tax for investors who make investments in economic opportunity in certain geographic areas. So, for example, making an equity investment or in a business or purchasing real property. So through the creation of opportunity funds, sort of these separate investment vehicles, and I'm not a tax person, but there comes a point where I tell you to call your accountant. Right. But through the creation of these separate investment vehicles, these opportunity funds, they can defer capital gains and make investments that are supposed to help spur economic activity in these areas. So the town of Barnstable applied through the state to have the Hyannis census tract that accompanies both downtown Hyannis as well as our regional retail center and industrial park. It's all a single census tract, which was great. So we applied to the state to have that tract designated. Back when they were soliciting proposals, we had it designated, and our friends over in Yarmouth had one designated as well. So we were a designated opportunity zone. And so through this opportunity, the Opportunity Zone Academy, it comes to us through a not-for-profit group called Locus, which is a group of developers and investors who are supporting smart growth and walkable communities. They're a subsidiary of the larger Smart Growth America, which has a similar mission, sort of promoting, again, sort of responsible land use and complete streets and sort of an integrated and environmentally and economically responsible form of development. So this group, Locus and Smart Growth America, are hosting an Opportunity Zone Academy for municipalities in Massachusetts. We applied, as did our counterparts in Yarmouth, and we were selected as a team to participate in this.
So you're going to team up with Yarmouth. I hadn't quite got that connection from the press release, so you'll be teaming up with Yarmouth. Let's just back up just a little bit.
Sure.
How does this fit into the overall planning for this area? You know, you've been doing a lot of work within the Main Street area as well as, you know, the East End, and then over on the 132 corridor, the retail corridor over there, and Independence Park. How does this all fit in as an opportunity zone?
Right. So geographically, it's sort of a perfect match for our more place-based economic development programs we have. So obviously, downtown Hyannis is somewhere that is the prime example, I think, on Cape Cod of a walkable urban environment, somewhere where you want to encourage that moderate density development, again, that sort of smart growth model. That was the whole idea behind the growth incentive zone, was that you had a place sort of with, you know, that could take additional density, that had infrastructure, and that had that sort of character, that existing character, to be able to encourage that walkable urban development. So it's great because we see that's really, that this opportunity zone is really a vehicle to help encourage that, and even this Locus and Smart Growth America opportunity that aligns with their objectives as well. So one of the things we hope to get out of this academy is, you know, how do we sort of tailor our place-based strategies, whether it's working with the RTA to encourage transit-oriented development or encourage a better complete streets concept. So the car not just being for the automobile, but being for cyclists and pedestrians as well. So what strategies should we be focusing on? How do we do a better job of sort of attracting capital and investors to these areas, seeing that, hey, we've done all this planning, we have all these incentives, all of this regulatory relief, and now this fantastic sort of favorable tax incentive. how do we align and package all these things and market it to developers and investors. So that's kind of how it comes together there. It's also a great fit for sort of Route 132 in the industrial park, because that's where you see the opportunity for that investment in businesses. So you know, we see the opportunity for business growth there. So if somebody was going to make an equity investment in a business, obviously lots of sort of commercial opportunity there as well.
Okay. And then as we kind of sidestepped here, how does working with Yarmouth play into this as well? So is that their their 28 corridor down into Bass River is what I understand?
Correct. So it's sort of on the opposite side of Yarmouth. But I think the thinking sort of as we got together and worked with Locust to sort of develop out this opportunity was that we really see both Barnstable and Yarmouth as being more of the core of year-round life on Cape Cod. I think we sort of we share that really, and too many times we're sort of competitive over development. You know, I think this is a great opportunity again to sort of think about bigger investments again in things like rail and transit, and how do we solidify on both sides of the municipal line in Barnstable and in Yarmouth this, you know, these areas really as the core year-round geography of Cape Cod. Right. And the, you know, the other idea is, I think a lot of the idea out of the Opportunity Zone Academy is to close the gap between, you know, between the sort of financial and technical speak around opportunity zones and the knowledge base that local governments have. So I think the more we can work together, the more that knowledge base is transferable across different municipalities, the more benefit it has for all of us here on Cape Cod, and for us to take this back to other people in the region. You know, not just on Cape Cod, but the entire Southeast region, and say, you know, this is what we've learned about the role that municipalities can play in this Opportunity Zone program. This is how we're leveraging this investment. So it's not just about us. It's really about sort of building that vitality throughout all of southeastern Massachusetts.
Right, and there were 7 communities chosen for this from Massachusetts, as far out as Western Mass as well. I saw Montague out there, which is close to my old hometown, which was kind of weird to think of that as an opportunity build-out area. But when we look at this particular program, you'll attend the academy, you'll have your counterpart in Yarmouth out there with you as well.
Correct, yeah.
When you come back from that, what is your hope that you're going to come back with? Is there specific gaps in knowledge in how to do something like this?
Right, so I think one of the things that both sort of locally as municipalities and regionally that we've been trying to figure out is what is our role? You know, we see the role that developers and investors can play, but again, how can we as municipalities, again, sort of market or leverage this designation? So that's really what we're looking for, and hopefully by, you know, networking with a group that represents developers and investors, doing some matchmaking in this as well, saying, here's the opportunity, and finding folks who are looking to invest in that opportunity. So that's certainly one of the big advantages of exciting advantages of being able to participate in this.
And just to kind of wrap this up, is this just Massachusetts that's going, or is there other areas of the country? Are they doing it separately, separate academies for other areas of the country?
So Locust and Smart Growth America are national organizations, and this is a national conference down in DC, but Massachusetts, the Massachusetts chapter of Locust is the only one that's hosting this academy. So sort of the stars have aligned. And I should say before we wrap up, this isn't the end. There's sort of this initial step where all of us folks from Massachusetts go down and sort of build this core of knowledge, interact with this larger national group, and then take that back, and there'll actually be workshops here for folks sort of in the economic development and development world specific to Hyannis and Yarmouth. Again, thinking about what are these strategies, what type of developers and investors should we be trying to attract, what sort of policy changes might we need to make to, again, sort of get the most out of this designation. So there'll be that process which follows on the academy that happens over the weekend.
Right. And do you think some of those will be joint things with Yarmouth?
Absolutely, yeah. And again, that's the idea. I think it's about making this less about one zone or one opportunity, and more about, again, those sort of bigger conversations about moving the Cape Cod economy forward and towards something more year-round and sustainable.
Fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.